Hello and welcome back. This is lesson 8, continuing from last week with gesture, and we're going to look at it a little bit more, and the focus is rhythms. What are rhythms? Well, think of music. In music, rhythms act as an underlying structure. They are a pattern of sound or a pattern of movement, and it's something that is repeated, it's repetitious. It's the same thing in drawing. We are using rhythms as an underlying structure and to show the flow of the form. Think of flow and think of water when you think of rhythms. Let me give you a little example here. So with water, you're going from here to here, using lines, going back and forth, and using lines to show a flow. So let's take a closer look at rhythms and really see them over top of, overlay them over some images. And all you're doing is you're looking to alternate from side to side, as if it was water flowing down a slide. Like at a water park, it's going from side to side. You're doing that and you're feeling that as you flow through a form. So there's not necessarily specific things you have to be drawing every single time. It's just more about finding somewhere to start, and from there looking for alternating rhythms. So let's look at the rhythms for these three images. You can see how, starting with this soccer player in his action pose, going from the right and then alternating to the left, back to the right, to the left, to the right. And we are following the form of the body, but it wasn't something I decided beforehand. I just started up here from the head and let it kind of flow from there. You let it be organic. And then I go back over to the other leg and just start from here, left to right to left. And going down to Tiger Woods, this rhythm is basically more specific lines within the line of action that we did last week. So it's just describing all these more subtleties as we're flowing back and forth through his form. And this final image is something that the line of action was more difficult to see, but rhythm can be used for any parts of the body, because essentially you're flowing over parts of the body, over muscles and over landmarks. So with this pose, you can use rhythms to flow back and forth with the arms, with the little bit that's seen of the leg, the knee into the leg, on both sides. Now you see the head kind of flows this way, and then it's pretty much straight down right here. So there isn't as much of a feeling of a flow there, and that does happen. But you can definitely see it on either side. So now let's take these drawings, or these images, and I'm going to do a demonstration of them. So we have this line of action, as you remember, kind of the overarching. I'll draw that in lightly. Now I'm looking for the more subtle, the rhythms of the way his body is moving. So we have the front of his face, to his shoulder, to the front of his body here, to his buttocks, down his thigh, this left leg, and back over to his other leg, his ankle, to his foot. Coming back up, we're going to go down the other leg. This leg coming in this way, his knee, the other side of his leg, his ankle, and his foot. You're going back and forth from different parts of the body. So we have, again, his face, shoulder, front of his body, back and forth to his buttocks, front of his leg, the back part of his middle of his leg, to the front of his leg, and to his foot. To the other leg, we could do the thigh to the back, or the knee, down the leg, ankle, and his other foot. So we're using rhythms to really just come in here and describe this movement. We can even go into his arms, how we have line coming this way around his shoulder, back up his bicep, and then around again for his forearm. And even continue this out. So there's Tiger Woods, real sketchy and quick. I'm going to do the guy sitting down, the one that it wasn't really as easy to do with the line of action, but we can use our rhythms to describe him. Alright, so we have the front of his face, and that line actually sort of continues in the middle of his body here. And we can go back up and his shoulder to his bicep, to his forearm coming across. Go to the other side, shoulder, bicep, forearm coming across. We have one leg, his knee, leg to knee to thigh here, not thigh, to his lower leg. We come out again to his knee, to his lower leg. So sticking though with that back and forth, it's not always, sometimes you just really do got to look to see which way it's going. But you see the shoulder, the bicep, and then around to the forearm, shoulders, the bicep, around to the forearm, upper leg, to the knee, to the lower leg, the calf, upper leg to the knee, to the lower leg, the calf. So you're just sort of getting that gesture with rhythm. Soccer player. Alright, so we have his head. Sometimes his head doesn't stick with the whole thing. We have his body, outside of his buttocks, upper thigh, lower leg, foot. On the other side, we bring his upper thigh, outer leg, outer of the front leg to his ankle to his foot. And you can throw in his hand, his arm to his hand, shoulder to bicep, to elbow, to forearm. Good gesture drawing isn't so much about thinking, and looking for all these minute details, and as we were doing with angles and with contour drawing, which is very important, very helpful. But this approach is more about letting go and trusting yourself, using simple tools, the rhythm, and going back and forth, but looking for those patterns and ultimately feeling those patterns and entering into that flow.